Oh, look, there it is. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dion's Daily Dose for the 28th of July, which is a Tuesday. Hi. So, hey, Jack. Jack's on the dusty trail. Greetings. So, I'm glad you're here, Jack, because that's the first thing that I want to touch on. Oh, I got paint all over me. Uh, I'm just finishing up the bathroom. I promise when it gets done, I'll give you guys what I've been working on the last few days. We've been putting it off and putting it off, and I finally got roped into finishing it up. But I want a PSA, right? Public service announcement. Please remember that tow truck drivers are first responders too. And when you see those flashing lights, slow down and move over. My best friend Jim, who some of you may have seen when he was here, uh, his truck broke down, right? And he called me. We went out there, or I went out there, and had to wait for a tow, and the driver had to shut down the right lane. Now, when I've had this is fairly recent, had to actually shut down the entire lane because people don't move over. They don't slow down. They don't move over. And as Jack said, 25 deceased this year. Move over, slow down. The reason that the lane has to be shut down is because if they don't, then it's somehow the tow truck driver's fault. Does that make any sense whatsoever? Now, I could go on and on about this. It's a personal peeve of mine. And we can talk about highway safety and all of that. We will at some point. But just it's very simple. If you see those flashing lights, slow down. It doesn't matter if the lights are red, blue, yellow, orange. Flashing lights signals slow down. Remember, those people have families too. Those are human beings. They're trying to do their job. And I'm going to tell you, all these people out there that are like, just zipping by, tow truck drivers and stuff, you change your tune pretty quick when you're on the side of the road. That's all I'm going to say about that. Moving on. Just be safe and be smart. I know it's not too common anymore, but use some common sense. It's not going to slow you down that much. To back it off a little, be safe, go slow for a little bit, and then after you're past it, you can, zip down the road, fly down the road, whatever it is you want to do. But there are people that are losing their lives that there's no reason for it. There's just absolutely no reason for it. So today I went out to the Pines and got to meet some of the voters out there. That was a good time, actually. The interesting thing is, out of the 50 or so houses that I knocked on the door of, two of them actually were former employees at Indiana State Prison. What are the odds, right? So that was entertaining. The one gentleman had been there way back in the day. He says the other guy about 15 years ago. So they were both before my time, but it was cool. It was cool meeting a couple of former COs, and the one gentleman, he said he only lasted a few days, and that was enough for him. But hey, the Pines is its own little deal. But I want you people that live there to know that I will represent you as well. The entire district doesn't matter whether you live in the Pines, whether you live in Beverly Shores, or whether you live in Long Beach. You will get equal representation. It was a good time though. I couldn't even get Donovan to go with me today. He was really tired and didn't feel like going. My normal door knocking companion, he actually got roped into finishing painting as well. So I flew solo today. Wasn't too bad. I will say it's a lot more fun with other people. Well, I won't say fun, but it's a better time, right? It's not quite as bad with other people as it is by yourself. There were a couple of, I did run across a couple of, um, I think just initially fearful because they didn't know why I was there. I don't drive up to people's houses unless they live very, very far apart. I tend to park somewhere and walk. Uh, that was close enough that I could walk. And so there's no vehicle, it's just someone suddenly there. So one lady was understandably standoffish until I told her why I was there. And then she's like, oh, okay, all right. Uh, but yeah, I'm planning on going back out to the Pines tomorrow, getting some done there, and Porter County this weekend. I'm going to come out to Porter County, well, further west Porter County. The Pines is, Porter County, but Chesterton area, stuff like that. I plan on coming out there this weekend, so you won't have to wait too long. We're also trying to get some meet and greets scheduled, a location that would be willing to host a meet and greet. Uh, Let me know. Email me, Dion, or talk at dionbergeron.com. Send me a message on Facebook or Messenger. If you would like to help the campaign, there's actually a lot of stuff that really needs to be done. I need someone to handle some email stuff for me. I need someone to start organizing the shows and guests and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff that really needs to be done. Dave says lunch board A-frames. Oh, you mean like to wear? Put it on there? Yeah. That hey man, I'm not opposed. Any way I can get my message out there. I think I can use the ideas. I want to start crafting a series on the channel that is kind of getting people together, right? To discuss things that are just being shuffled around or aren't getting the attention that they need. One example would be let's talk about police brutality, but let's talk about it from a police perspective. We hear from protesters, right? We hear from people on the left, the ones that are raging and burning. What about those officers that hear about it and are confronted with things they didn't even do, with things they had nothing to do with, that are held to a standard that is unreachable? I will tell you that I know a number of police officers. Some of them I consider my friends. Some of them are family. And none of them are involved in the negative 1%, right? Because any career, politicians, obviously, the good is like 1%. Everybody else, nah. But generally in a career or a profession, you have the majority of people are good, right? And then that negative 1% that seems to be on the front page of the paper and stuff like that. I actually would like to start getting some voices on the right and hearing what they have to say. By on the right, I simply mean conservative voices, law and order type voices, police departments, EMS, things like that, and hear what they have to say about their experiences. And every police officer I know hates dirty cops more than we possibly could ever, because it gives them a bad name. I know that when I was a correctional officer, the last thing I wanted was to work with someone who was dirty, to work with someone who wasn't doing their job properly, smuggling in things or doing stuff like that. I wanted no part of that. I didn't want to be around them. I'm sure the same applies in the police department settings. That's just one thing that I'd like to do. I'd also like to start up a dialogue between the sides. If you would be interested in helping to set that up, let me know. Email me, message me. For now, I am still the one who answers all of my social media. I plan on keeping it that way. as I said, I can't guarantee that that's going to be the case forever, but I will definitely keep you informed if that changes. Uh, that's really what I had to say today. Again, move over or slow down for flashing lights. When you see, it doesn't even matter what it's for, right? And the same applies to road construction. Look, I have driven a lot of miles. Road construction infuriates me. The lane shut down, the slow down. There are places we got to go. We had to get there, right? Oh man, I needed to be there 20 minutes ago, or I need to be there in 15 minutes and it's a 10-minute drive. This 5 minutes is going to kill me. Whatever. Slow down for a mile or two. Get right back up to speed. I will tell you, it's a lot harder to get up to speed in a semi than it is in a passenger car, vehicle, van, truck, SUV. It's not going to take that much off your time to slow down, use some caution, keep your eyes peeled, look at where people are. And last little bit of PSA, because I'm going to tell you, lately, like, I don't even understand it. Keep right except to pass. That's actually in the driver's manual, and it seems like everyone has forgotten. I don't understand the people that just hang out in the left lane. I had to break my wife of doing that. She used to do that all the time, just drive in the left lane like there's no other lane. Stop it. Just stop it. Move over to the right. Stay to the right. If you need to pass somebody, get out to the left, go around them, and then get back. Keep right except to pass. So, yeah, that's it. That's my little rant for the day. I don't understand why it's so hard to understand, and we'll. I actually plan on getting into a little traffic way information dialogue. Before I let you go, there's something that I want to show you, and it applies to what we were talking about with the police departments and law enforcement in general. If you have not seen this, I present breaking. Over 100 police agencies pull out of agreements to guard the DNC convention. More than 100 law enforcement agencies have reportedly pulled out of security agreements to send personnel to help with security at the Democratic National Convention next month, in part because they are concerned about recent efforts to limit law enforcement's use of tear gas and pepper spray in responding to violent riots. Milwaukee Police Chief Alfonso Morales was ordered last month to change the department's policies to ban the use of tear gas and pepper spray. Since the Milwaukee order was issued, more than 100 law enforcement agencies in Wisconsin and across the country decided against coming to Milwaukee, Morales told WTMJ TV on Tuesday. The Associated Press reported they were concerned with directives placed on the police department, including not allowing tear gas or pepper spray, he said. I will give you the link to check it out and take a look if you wish to do so. But it is really understandable because we have, oh, yes, Jack, thank you. You now get a ticket for hanging out in the left lane. Move over, slow down. And yes, stay alert, stay alive. I agree wholeheartedly. They limited, right? They said, oh, you can't use tear gas or pepper spray. I'm just curious, do people understand that tear gas and pepper spray began to be utilized because the police, military, whatever, were shooting rioters? I just want to make sure we understand what's at stake here and what's going on. The reason that pepper spray, tear gas, things like that began to be utilized by police departments and National Guard, security forces, things like that, were as a less than lethal alternative to live rounds. Because, look, I want to make it very clear. I support the law. We have to have laws in our society. I support laws that are put into place by legislators that are not corrupt. Let's get that clear. There are some laws I don't agree with, but they are the law. Rioting is different than protesting. I fully support someone's right to peacefully assemble and address their government with their grievances. I do not believe in rioting and burning buildings and injuring police officers and things like that. But let's look back at history. The reason initially, right, these rioters were met with deadly force. If you look at, I believe it was Richard Daley that said in Chicago, if they have a Molotov cocktail, shoot to kill. If they're unarmed, shoot to wound, right? Tear gas and things like that, rubber bullets, were designed to allow our agencies another way to deal with potentially violent rioters. So with banning these, we have made it to where you're not giving them an option. And the police departments, the 100 departments, over 100, said, no, we're not going to do that. As a matter of fact, here, I'll give you a little more of the, oh, that's not it. It's not working now. Oh, there it is. So in Wisconsin, Franklin Police Chief Rick Oliva said, it is apparent there's a lack of commitment to provide the Milwaukee Police Department with the resources it needs to ensure the safety of peaceful protesters, attendees, citizens, and police personnel. I cannot send personnel if they are not properly equipped or will not be allowed to engage in appropriate actions which would ensure their safety. Waukesha Police Chief Daniel Thompson responded by indicating that his department would not be sending officers to, I think they mean the event, saying, I understand that use of chemical irritants and pepper spray is serious, and those are to be used only when legally justified. But when you take that out of the continuum, that doesn't leave the officers much other than getting harmed or using deadly force. And that's not good for any officer or the public. And there's more to it, but Dave, I am right there with you. We have to have laws. We won't even get into the mandates. I've talked about that before. And it'll come out. I actually just saw a picture. I don't have it with me, but I can get it upon request. Apparently, our illustrious governor spoke at the retirement party of a very influential Hoosier, and it appears that despite his mandate, neither he nor anyone else there were wearing masks. So there's a picture, and this happens to be the second time that our illustrious governor was caught on camera not following the things he says. So let's just leave it at that. Assuming I win my election and he wins his, I'm going to have to work with the man. So let's not go too far down that rabbit hole. Oh boy. So thank you once again for joining me. If you want to help with the campaign, visit the website, DionBergeron.com. Email me, talk@DionBergeron.com, and let me know what you can do, what you'd like to do. We could use more people to get out and spread the word, knock doors, help me, help us. I definitely do have people who support me and are helping, but there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do between now and November. We got to get the word out. We got to meet people, and We got some fundraisers coming up because look, it takes money. I personally, I'm gonna tell you, I hate the entire concept of it, but it's got to be done, right? It's got to be done. And my understanding is there's still plenty of people out there with plenty of money that they can afford to donate. I mean, let's look at all the let's look at the ridiculous amounts of money that are being dumped into certain organizations right now, et cetera, right? So, yeah. If you're one of those people with plenty of extra money, you can go online to my website, dionbergeron.com, or mail donations to Dion Bergeron for Indiana at my address for the campaign, 1018 Providence Street in Michigan City, 46360. There, that's all I had out of the way. So thank you very much for coming out. I do appreciate it, taking time out of your day to watch my video, to watch some guy wax poetic about stuff. Look, in all seriousness, the campaign is coming along really well, and I'm meeting people, getting the word out. All of you that are taking the time to share my videos and letting people know what's going on, I do appreciate you. But I have some quality content coming up, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So thanks again. God bless you. God bless Indiana, and God bless the U.S. of A.